Hello everyone, myself Vashini. Currently I am pursuing BE in Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering. So this is second video in web technology and its applications. So today my topic is creation of tables and forms. So as we know, table. Table means general meaning it consists of rows and columns. But in HTML, table consists of cells. So inside the cells, we have rows and columns. So as you can see in this code, this is a sample code for the HTML table. So we will begin with the sample code with the table in the angle bracket and TR for the rows, that is table rows, and TH for the heading. And we will end this tag with the forward slash. And again, we will end this TR. And in the next row, we are giving Alfred Spartakiste and Maria Anders and Germany. And in the third row, we are giving Centro Commercial Moctezuma, Francisco Chang, and Mexico. So if we try this, so as you can see, this is the HTML table. So in the code, in the table, we can also give the border for the table. So here we had given the border has 1 pixel solid black, and we had given the style. So this is the simple example. And table consists of cells. So each cell is defined by TD and it should be end with a tag, that is forward angle bracket forward slash and TD. So TD stands for table data. So everything between the TD and forward slash TD, that is the closing tag, we have the content for the table cells. So as you can see in this example, we have table. We need to start the table code with the table and TR for the rows. For the table data, we have TDML and TD Tobias and Linus. So we need to end this table data with the closing tag, and we need to end this TR, that is row, table row, with the forward slash, that is TR and table. Suppose if we try this in the code, we can see like this. We had given the table cells as Emil, Tobias, and Linus. So we can see. And suppose if we give, we can edit, we can change the border of the table. Suppose if we had given as blue, and if we run the code, so we will get the table border in the blue color. So table cell can contain all sorts of elements like any text, images, list, links, or other tables. Next, coming to the table rows, that is TR. So each table row will start with a TR and it should end with a close tag, that is hash TR with a forward slash. So TR stands for table row. So as you can see, same example we are taking, that the previous example what we had took for table data. So Emil, Tobias and Linus. So we had given some numbers. Suppose if we try this code, see what the difference is here. For the table data cell means only one cell, but row means it consists of more than one cell. So what we had made the changes for the table data cell is we have added one more cell, that is so that one or more cell will become the row. So that changes you can see here. Here also you can change the border of the cell. Next, table headers. To TH stands for table header. It should end with a closing tag with a forward slash, angle bracket forward slash and TH. For example, if we try this code, so as you can see, we have added one more heading for this table rows, that is person 1, person 2 and person 3 with the TH, that is table header. And we should end with this TH with the forward slash, that is the closing tag, angle bracket forward slash and TH. Coming to the HTML borders, that is the table borders. So as you can see, we know this is the border. So when you add a border to a table, you also add the borders for the each cell of the table. So when you are adding the border to a so when you are adding a border to a table, you are adding the borders for each table cell. So we can add a border to the table by using CSS border property like table, th, and td elements. Suppose if we try this, so as you can see, we can add the border to the this thing with the border and its property. As we know, CSS border and its property, we are given the name value pair. So the name will be border and its property is 1 pixel solid black. So we can see the output like this. So in the table border, we have collapse table borders. That is, we can join or we can merge as we are seen in the MS Word. We can merge the tables with the table THTD border and its property. We need to specify it as border collapse as the property and its value will be collapse. So if we run this, so as you can see here, the border will be collapsed with the another border. Next, table sizes. So table has sizes for each column. It have table width and many things. Suppose here we had given the table width as 100%. So if we check this, so suppose we can change also. If we had make it as like 50, and if we run this, so see, you can change the table border width as you wish. You can give like the table borders. Next, my topic is table forms. So table form means it is used to collect the user input. So the user input collected by the form which will be sent to the server for the further processing. So as you can see, you have seen many Google documents like this, like first name, last name, like this. So user have to give the input here. So if we submit this, you can see like this for F name. So the server has processed your input and it had returned the answer. So the form element. So form element, it is used to create a HTML form for the user input. And input element, it is the most often used form element. So input is also one of the element. So in the input type, we have given the text. So it displays a single line text input field. We can give the radio, it displays a radio button. We can give a checkbox, so it displays a checkbox. And we can give a submit, so it displays a submit button. And we can give the input type as button, so it displays a clickable button. And we also have text fields in the input type. So it defines a single line input field for the text input. As you can see, we had given the label for the first name and we had given the input time as text and we had given the label as last name and we had given the input type like this. So this is how the HTML code will be looked like if we run in the browser. So we had given first name and the last name, so that will be displayed here. So in the output, the form itself is not visible because the width of the text of the input has been limited only for the 20 characters. Next, we have label element. So notice that the use of the label element in the above example. So it defines a label for many elements. Label is useful for screen reader users, and because the screen reader will read out loud, so that the user will focus on the label instead of the input element. And we have radio buttons. So input type is radio. So we can give input like this. So if we run this code, we will get like if we can choose the web languages here. Next, HTML form attributes. So in the form attributes, we have action attribute, target attribute, method attribute, autocomplete, and no validate attribute. So there are 5 kinds of attribute. So in the action attribute, it defines what the action to be performed when the form is submitted. Suppose you will fill and submit some Google form. So what the action would be taken by the server. So it's specified with the form action attribute. So we will design this code. So it should begin with the form action. So action underscore page dot php. We can give the label as first name and we can define its property, and we had given input type as text and its ID as f name and John. Suppose if we try this code, we will get like this. Suppose if we submit this form, the data will be sent to a page that is PHP page, that is action page.php. So like this. Next, we have target attribute. So target attribute specifies where to display the response that is received after submitting the form. So after submitting the form, where we can given or where we can receive the response, that will be specified with the target attribute. So as you can see in the value, we have underscore blank, underscore self, parent, and top, and also we have frame name. If we try this for the target attribute, so you can see this same thing. Like you can see where it has been sent. So it will be sent to the PHP tutorial. So this was the data returned by the server. Next, we have method attribute. So in the method, we have 2 kinds of URL variables, that is get and post. So the form data will be sent to the URL as get, and in the HTTP post transaction, we are using post. So the default HTTP method when submitting form data is get. Suppose if we try this code, if we submit this, so you can see how the server will return when you as soon as you submit the form. So get and post. So it appends the form of data to the URL. So for the URL, what the user has been given the data, that should be sent to the URL. So we can't use get to send the sensitive data, and it will be limit of characters up to 2048 and useful for the form submissions when the user wants to bookmark the result. That is when you have to bookmark any websites from the Google. At that time, get attribute will be useful. And get is good for the non-secure data, but it is not useful for the security purpose. So in the security purpose, we can use the post data. So it will be processed inside the body of the HTTP request, and it has no size limitations. So it can be used to send large amounts of data, and form submissions with post data cannot be bookmarked. So here we can bookmark the data, but in the post we cannot bookmark the data. Next, we have form elements. So form elements, we have input, label, select, text area, button, field set, legend, data list, output, option, and opt group. So in the label, it defines a label for several elements, and label element is useful for screen read users. Label also helps the users who have difficulty in clicking very small regions like the check boxes. suppose if we check this select element in the code, as you can see, this is the HTML form. So in the form action, we had given the PHP form. So we are in the code, we are seeing for the cars. So we need to choose a car for the label, and we have the ID for the cars and the name of the cars. So the value of the car is Volvo, Saab, Fiat, and Audi, and its options. So we need to select the car here, and if we submit it, so this data will be sent to the user. So select element, it is used to select the options for the user who have the problem in working with the small regions, like in the small check boxes.